I am going to deal with Mod 1 programming of 8051 timer. As you have already seen TMOD and TCON registers in my previous video. In that, TMOD register consists of 4 modes of operation of a timer. That is Mode 0, Mode 1, Mode 2 and Mode 3. Mode 0 is a 13-bit timer operating mode. Mode 1 is of 16-bit, Mode 2 is of 8-bit and Mode 3 is a split timer mode. As you all know, 8051 microcontroller is of 8-bit. So, this 8051 microcontroller mainly concentrates on this Mode 1 operation and Mode 2 operation of timer. Since Mode 1 can be splitted up into two 8-bit timer mode and Mode 2 as such is a 8-bit timer mode. Then, coming into this Mode 1 programming. TMOD register consists of lower 4 bits as timer 0 values and upper 4 bits as timer 1 values. TMOD register is an 8-bit register. Its MSB consists of G, C bar T, M1, M0. Then again G, C bar T, M1, M0. This G means gate. C bar T means whether it is a counter or it is a timer. If we are providing C bar T value is equal to 0, it will act as a timer. Then timer is used to create time delays. Then if we are providing C bar T value is equal to 1, it will act as a counter. Counter is used to count events happening outside the microcontroller. This all you have already seen in my previous videos. Then there is a crystal oscillator frequency for this 8051 microcontroller. Then what is this crystal oscillator frequency? Usually these 8051 based systems have a crystal frequency of 10 MHz to 40 MHz. But we will concentrate on 11.0592 MHz as the crystal oscillator frequency of this 8051 microcontroller. Why we have used crystal oscillator frequency as 11.0592 MHz? Because this 8051 system communicate with this IBM PC with no errors with this frequency only. That's why we have chosen this 11.0592 MHz as the standard crystal oscillator frequency for this 8051 microcontroller. Then, as we are dealing with the timer, this timer works with a clock frequency of 1/12 of the crystal frequency. So, you have to divide this 11.0592 MHz divided by 12, which will give you your timer frequency. Then, as you have already seen in TCON register, there are 2 bits, timer run control bit and timer overflow flag. This timer run control bit is mainly used for starting the timer. As you all know, timer is of 16-bit. These timers are also of 2 types, timer 0 and timer 1. Timer 0 is of 16-bit and timer 1 is also of 16-bit. So, these timers are again divided into 2 8-bit timer registers. That is, timer 0 is divided into timer 0 low byte and timer 0 high byte. This timer 1 is also divided into timer 1 low byte and timer 1 high byte. So, these 16-bit values are divided into 2 8-bit registers, timer low and timer high. So, these timers can be started by using this run control bit TR. Then, as this timer starts, it will start to count up. It counts up from its initial value 00002 is final value FFFF since it is a 16-bit timer. So, whenever it reaches its final value, it overflows, that is, it jumps back to its initial value. In that condition, a timer overflow flag is set. That is denoted as TF. As you have already known, there are two timers. So, TF0 for timer 0 and TF1 for timer 1. Timer overflow flags are also of two types, TF0 for timer 0 and TF1 for timer 1. This is the general block diagram of mode 1 programming. Then you will be seeing steps to program this mode 1. First, you have to load T-mode value. That is, T-mode is an 8-bit register. In that, lower 4 bits are set for timer 0 and upper 4 bits are used for timer 1. First, you have to load T-mode register. That means you have to select whether you are using timer 0 or timer 1. If you are using timer 0, you have to load value in lower 4 bits. If you are using timer 1, you can load in upper 4 bits. You can see this loading in my previous timer bar counter programming video. First, you have to load T-mode value register indicating which timer is to be used and which timer mode is selected. That is, you have to select either timer 0 or timer 1. Then you have to select this mode 1. Mode 1, as I have already say you that there are 4 modes of operation for a timer. Mode 1 means M1, M0 value you have to give it as 0, 1. M1 as 0 and M0 as 1. 0, 0, M1, M0. If M1 and M0 are 0, 0, mode 0 is selected. If it is 0, 1, mode 1 is selected. 1, 0, mode 2 is selected and 1, 1, mode 3 is selected. For mode 1 programming, you have to give M1 as 0 and M0 as 1. Then after this T-mode value is loaded, you have to load two registers TL and TH with its initial count values. Since timer is of 16-bit, it is divided into two 8-bit registers, low bit and high bit with its initial count values. So, low byte value has to be loaded with the TL and high byte value has to be loaded with the TH. Then you can start the timer by using the instruction setB. Then for timer 0, you have to use setB TR0 for starting the timer, and for timer 1, you have to use setB TR1 for starting the timer. Then after this timer is started, it starts to count up. It counts from his initial value to his maximum value FFFF. Whenever it jumps back from his final value to his initial value, you have to monitor that. In that condition, you have to monitor timer flag, whether this timer flag has raised or not. Whenever it rolls back, that is overflow condition has occurred, this timer overflow flag, that is this timer flag has raised. So you have to get out of the loop when this TF flag becomes high. As I have already told you, this timer overflow flag is also of two types, timer flag 0 and timer flag 1. Timer flag 0 is used for timer 0 operations and timer flag 1 is used for timer 1 operations. Whenever this flag is raised, you have to stop the timer. Also, you have to clear this TF flag. You can stop the timer by using the instruction CLR, and you can clear the TF flag also by using the instruction CLR. CLR TF0 for timer 0 and CLR TF1 for timer 1. You can stop the timer by using two instructions, CLR TR0 for timer 0 and CLR TR1 for timer 1. Then if you want again to create or generate a time delay, you have to go back to step 2 and you have to load with the initial count values. Then, how you can load values into timer? As you have already seen that 11.0592 MHz is the crystal oscillator frequency of 8051 microcontroller. This 11.0592 MHz divided by 12. That means this timer works with a clock frequency of 1 by 12 of the crystal frequency. So, you have to divide this clock frequency by 12 in order to get this timer frequency. So, 11.0592 MHz divided by 12 will give you timer frequency as 921.6 kHz. Then, this is a frequency. You want to get time period. So, you know the relation that time period is equal to 1 by frequency. So, 1 by 921.6 kHz, that will give you 1.085 microsecond. So, you have to load values into the timer. That means you want to get this n value, count value. N means count value. This you want to get. For that, you can apply one equation 65536 minus n into 1.085 microsecond. This 1.085 microsecond came from here. 65536 means your final value, since this mode 1 program works under 16-bit mode, its final value is FFFF. 8051 mainly concentrates on its hexadecimal values. Corresponding to this hexadecimal value, corresponding to FFFF hexadecimal value, your decimal value is given as 65536. So, if you want to get decimal values, you can apply this equation. If you want to get hexadecimal value, you can apply this equation. So, if you want to get decimal value, 65536 minus n into 1.085 microsecond will give you your required time delay. Or if you want to apply it in hexadecimal, you can directly apply it as FFFF minus YYXX, where YY indicates is TH value and XX indicates is TL value. Into 1.085 microsecond will give you your hexadecimal value. Here is an example program for mode 1 timer operation. Assuming crystal oscillator frequency equal to 11.0592 MHz, write a program to generate a square wave of 50 Hz frequency on pin P2.3. So, we have to generate a square wave of 50 Hz frequency on pin P2.3. Since this square wave is of 50 Hz, we can find out the time delay. T is equal to 1 by f, that is 1 by 50 is equal to 0.02, that is 20 millisecond. Since we want to generate a square wave, half of it for higher portion and another half for lower portion. So, 20 millisecond divided by 2 will give you 10 millisecond. So, we can calculate the required time delay by using this equation 65536 minus n into 1.085 microsecond is equal to this required time delay 10 millisecond. So, this 10 millisecond divided by 1.085 microsecond will give you 9216. 65536 minus 9216 will give you 56320. This value is in decimal value. So, we have to convert it into hexadecimal value. So, your hexadecimal value we got it as DC00. So, DC can be loaded into timer high and T00 can be loaded into timer low. Then, first we have to load TMOD register. By using this instruction, move TMOD, #10. #10 means 8-bit value. TMOD is an 8-bit register value. This TMOD can be loaded with the 0001 and 0000. Since this 0001 occurs as the higher bit, we have selected timer 1 mode of operation. So, we can use TL1, TH1, TR1, TF1, etc. in this program. Then after this tmod is loaded, we have to load values for TL and TH. So we have to load TL with the initial count value 0, 0 and TH1 with the higher bit value DC. Then after these values are loaded, you have to start the timer. Since timer 1 is used, we can start by using the instruction setB TR1. It starts counting from its initial value until it reaches its final value FFFF. So we have to check whether it rolls over from its final value to 0000 by using this instruction JNB TF1. Whenever it rolls over from FFFFH to 0000, this timer flag is raised. So you have to check whether this timer flag is raised or not by using this instruction JNB TF1, back. Then after this TF flag, that is timer flag is raised, that is timer flag value becomes 1, you have to clear this timer 1 by using the instruction CLR TR1 for next round of operation. Then you have to complement this P2.3 since this is a square wave. You want to get higher and lower portion. Then you want to clear this timer overflow flag for next round of operation by using the instruction CLR TF1. Then if you want to reload values again, you want to go back to this step again and you have to load the values. Thank you.